Hey guys, this is Charlotte with Support the Mompreneur Mastermind Group. I am so excited that I got to introduce you to my friend Cori today. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. It's live on Facebook, so I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen if I have to reconnect or not. Hopefully not. You receive a notification, right, that we are live?
I see it on my side that it's live on
Yes,
Facebook.
we are. Awesome.
Woohoo!
Don't know why there is my... Okay, we are live. We are live. We are... How are you, Cori? I'm so happy to see you this morning. And finally, technology is on our side.
Yes, it has been quite the challenge to get here.
I know. Just to give you an update, Facebook doesn't allow you anymore to add guests to your lives. For what reason? I think they want to focus more on the thing that's working better for them. I don't know, but they don't allow you anymore to have guests. So I thought like, hey, I should upgrade my Zoom so I can have guests on my live, because I think it's very, very important to share, to share the mic with some awesome lady. So how have you been today?
Pretty good.
How are you holding the whole COVID-19 situation?
Here in Oklahoma, it hasn't been that bad. We're less than 3,000 cases since the start, and they're actually talking about slowly opening up within the next several days and couple weeks. So I think here we're kind of on at the end of it. So
Do you have your husband with you?
yes, he is home. He was actually furloughed last week, and then with the crash of the oil prices and everything on Monday, we really don't know what to anticipate with
Tell us a little bit more about who you are, like, the lifestyle that you
that.
have, because it's very
So
specific.
it is. So I'm a stay-at-home mom and an oil field wife. And up until just last week, Michael was actually working still and even out of state. So the whole social distancing and staying at home wasn't a huge change in our routine anyway. But now, for at least the next couple of weeks, Michael is going to be home with us. And so we'll get to enjoy actually being together and being a family. So that's nice.
Which means that you will be able to work more on your website and on your program.
Yes, and which launches on May 1st. But
Tell us more about it. What is it exactly?
so the program is a home management system program. So I'm creating a home management system via Trello boards, and then the program is a 2-month program that really um, we work together. It's kind of like a group coaching atmosphere. And so for the 2 months, we do trainings and break it down step by step to help people really develop a simplified system for their home.
I read your article that you posted on the group, and what I love about it, it's really like you break each task into very small steps that are so achievable. So tell me more about that. Like, how did you figure it out? Like, I guess it was from your experience, but how did you went from overwhelming and chaos to, have that idea to really break down any task that you have to do?
So that kind of goes back to my professional career, I suppose. But that what I noticed is that when people really start to feel overwhelmed, and it can be about their job, it can be about um, cleaning their homes or budgeting or whatever. When you start to feel that major overwhelm, the way to get to the next step to overcome the overwhelm is to really focus in and identify what your next step is. And coming at it, I worked with in the College of Engineering, and my grandpa was an engineer. So even though I didn't know it at the time, I kind of have that engineer training in some ways to just identify what systems you are like you have in place, and then what the processes are. And so even though we're talking about home management, which isn't technical, it's not, home management's not this technical concept, but when you start to identify and break it down into what step by step looks like, then you can really start to find where your missing pockets of time are and how you can streamline your processes so that it's not this big overwhelming ball of all of these things that you have to do, because you know exactly, like, in order to get my kitchen clean, I can do it in 9 steps, and 9 steps are achievable.
What are
Like,
they? Can you give us an example?
uh, yeah, so uh, for me in my kitchen, and we're going to talk about, for this example, cleaning it up after we cook dinner. So everyone's eaten it and we're cleaning up for the night. So step one might be to clear off the counters and the tabletops. So put all of the dirty dishes into the sink. um, we're going to put all of the ingredients and all of the things we needed to prepare dinner up wherever it goes. We're going to clear off the trash, and then we're going to wipe off the counters. So in that step, you have sort of like 4 sub steps, right? So then step two is going to be focusing focusing on the dishes. And so if you haven't already, you're going to unload the dishwasher and put all of your clean dishes up. Then you're going to rinse and reload your dishwasher. And then if you need to, you're going to walk around your house and gather up all of your dirty dishes. And so, that's 3 steps there. And then then you can sweep and mop and kind of wrap it up. And so the main things to remember when you're starting to focus on streamlining and becoming more efficient is that you don't want to leave your zone. So whereas, when you're cleaning off your counter, if your kids have brought toys in, or you went to the grocery store and you haven't walked things, to put them away, or you have clutter on the counters, you want to kind of sort of pile it up and leave it there so that you can leave your zone at one point instead of going here and there. And then, because what happens is you get distracted because you're like, oh, well, I need to pick this up along the way, or the kid, like, I'm seeing what the kids are doing and I don't want them to do that, etc. So leaving all of that for the end, like, you get so much of your time back that you didn't even realize was missing.
Are you also consulting with women, so you help them actually, organize their day so they can make the most of each little, time they have available to do things like that?
I haven't branched too much into like the time management and the schedule aspect of it, but ultimately, yeah, the system would help them do that, especially, for a stay-at-home mom. And personally, just because of sort of the chaotic routines and schedules that we have, and the fact that we can't have anything too consistent, we don't, like, I actually don't have a 9 to 10, here's what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
10 to 11, here's what I'm doing. I focus more on like the routines.
And each
So
task.
yeah, so, and like we'll have our morning routine, which is get up, eat breakfast, brush your teeth, get ready for the day, and then move on to what's next, which is free play for the kids. And, so we kind of try and have more of a routine, but it's not so specific to this has to happen right at this
Mm-hmm.
point in time.
I know you're a big user, a big fan of Trello. I'm using Trello for my business, and I haven't thought of Trello for my personal life, and the
Mhm.
thing that I do for my house. But it might be a good idea. I'm just afraid of, creating a life that is so timed and, you know,
Mhm.
so organized, because I'm very organized. That is freaky already. So I'm like, if I organize also my personal life, how that would look, So how do you manage that? Like, how do you make your life look like it's organized, but not that organized, not overwhelming by organization?
Mhm. So one of the great things about Trello and why it's such a great tool for home management is because it's meant to be a project manager. That's what it was created to do. And so, you know, this is something that people can use, they can adapt it to fit their lifestyle. So if you are the type of person that likes to know what you are doing every single minute of the day and have it spoken for, so to speak, then you can make that work with Trello. If you are kind of like you want to have a game plan, but you don't like to have every single minute planned, it still works. And the reason why it's so great for home management is because it everything that you need is at your fingertips. You know, it's either on your laptop, there's a free app on your phone, you can share it with your spouse. And so, everyone and even your teenagers, your kids that have phones, they can all have the app and you can build it as a team. And so what really could happen is that some of the mental load that we carry as the home manager, we start to lessen that because everyone has the information at their fingertips. And it then becomes the responsibility, especially if you have teenagers, if they have something coming up, they put it in Trello, and then you create a system around how they communicate what their schedules are, and then you can already have a plan in place for the logistics of getting them to and from wherever it is that they're going. But everyone has it there, and so they're not going to come asking you every 5 minutes or telling you because they know where to look to find the information.
And
And sort of the same thing with dinner. You can plan out your meals for the next week, and instead of everyone saying what's for dinner starting at 9 o'clock, they can pull it up and look, or you can have it, I have a nice magnet on my fridge where I can write out what the menu is for the week. And so creating these systems and creating them in such a way that your family knows where to look for the information will really help alleviate the stress that we all feel because we're not having to communicate every single thing every moment of every day.
yeah, and I guess it becomes fun and cool, to use an app on your phone to
Mhm,
know what's going on within the family. And it's funny because I haven't thought about it, and now I'm kind of seduced by the idea of having a place where everyone can be on the same page. And it's also, I think, very helpful when you plan dinner for the whole week and you have a place when you put your ID, so you don't have to think about it every single night, which
mhm,
free ton of space into your mind so you can
mhm,
manage your stress better. Really,
mhm.
really like that idea. I again lost my line. Every time I have a great question, I lost it. But that's okay. I guess it will come back. It will come back. Cori, tell me more about your blog, because you started a blog. You give free value. Where can we find?
So my blog is a year old, or will be on Saturday. So that's a really
Happy
exciting milestone.
anniversary!
And so it's at thismagnificentlife.com, which is totally a play on my last name. It just came to me. But anyway, so yeah, I did a pivot earlier this year, and so I'm slowly adding more content to it. That's something that I don't post as frequently as I want to. And my oldest is trying to barge into the
We can
so I
hear
told
him.
I apologize for that.
Don't
Um,
worry.
but anyway, so there are posts about my blogging journey so far. There are posts about mom life and being an oil field wife, and of course the home management. Um, adding more about budgeting systems and how to create your home management and birthday parties. And so, really, um, the tagline, I changed it from all about life as a stay-at-home mom to oil field life, and I've changed it to the intentional heart of the home. And that's because I just, um, as the mom, I feel like that's my job is to be the heart of the home, and being intentional about it just means that I'm doing that on purpose. I'm cultivating an atmosphere in my home that's warm and inviting and safe, and I'm doing it on purpose.
I think
So,
you have a little boy who wants your attention right now. I remember what I was going to say before. I've learned, and I think it's everyone can think of an example of that. When you put everything that you have in your mind on one specific space, one specific application or something, it's working very well to declutter your mind. Whereas if you place all your thoughts like spreading
yeah.
everywhere in different, on Trello, on paper, on everywhere, and you have so much place, it doesn't really declutter your mind because it's still everywhere and you still have the back of your head to think about where did you put that information. So that's what I like about Trello. I decided to go 100% with Trello for the business.
Hmm.
And I think, yeah, that's an awesome, recommendation for people who want to declutter their mind, to focus on just one place. It doesn't matter if it's Trello, if it's digital or on paper, but it has to be on the same place, because I think as human being and as mom, we tend to just spread our energy and our ID kind of everywhere. And it's
Hmm.
difficult then to refocus and to be able to accomplish more.
Absolutely. And when you don't have a consistent system, when everything is so scattered, what happens too is that your spouse or your kids or whoever else, they don't know where to look for the information. And so they're constantly coming back to you anyway, and they're still asking those same questions. What's for dinner? Or they forget to tell you that they have a project due and it's due tomorrow and it's 9 o'clock at night. So there you are at the store at midnight. And so not only does it cause more chaos in your mind because you're like, well, where did I write that down?
Mm.
But you don't have a consistent system that your family can follow. And so that really in itself is going to make a big difference too. But I love Trello. I use it all the time for my business, and I'm excited about creating all of these boards for the home management, and I really think it's going to make a big difference for people.
I think that when you become a blogger, you kind of need to become geeky as well. And you start to use many, many different things that are online and digitally accessible. You become kind of a developer, a little engineer that you need, because you need to figure out so many things
Mhm.
for your website. And that when you start, sometimes you don't want to spend extra money asking for professionals. So you not
Mhm.
wasting, I would say, but you learn so many much more skills that then you become completely addicted to, the technology and the geek app that you can use on your daily basis.
Mhm.
Cori, where can we follow you, find you, get in touch with you?
So I am on Facebook and Instagram. I have a Twitter, but I'm not there all the time yet.
You have a
And
group
it's
as well.
and a group, yes, and it's all This Magnificent Life. That's a common enough name that it wasn't too hard to get the handles for everything. Um, so thismagnificentlife.com, and then you can find me on Facebook and Instagram the same way. So
Cool. I'll put all the link in the comment section. It was such a pleasure to finally have you live.
I'm so glad.
I'm thinking that I'm gonna do some, live, but with a theme associated to it. So maybe a question that I want to, ask and respond for the community. So I'll probably ask you to join many
Mhm.
other time if you don't mind. And it's always lovely to be with someone on a live anyway.
It is. So
Thank you very, very much,
thank
Cori.
you.
I'm going to stop the live right now, and I will see you on your Facebook page, on your Instagram, or by email. Thank you
All
so
right. Thank you. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did. If you did, please subscribe or share it with your friend who could benefit from those fantastic stories. If you're a mom, if you're a mompreneur, please join us on the group. The more, the merrier. I would love to feature you and to get to know you more. So don't hesitate to email me, connect with me on Facebook, on the group, on Instagram. I'll put all the link below. Otherwise, I wish you a fabulous day and please stay safe.